Online arbitrage versus wholesale. In today's video, we are going to compare these two business models. We are going to look at each of those two business models. We are going to look at how they work, what is, because there's a lot of misunderstanding of those business models. A lot of people, a lot of beginners do not really understand how it works. And we are going to compare them and see which one is best. Before we actually start, link in the description if you need one-on-one coaching, if you want to scale your Amazon business. You can book a call with me. Best way to do it, just go to the link. Do not email me and stuff like that. Go to the link. Look at my availability, book a call at a time that works for you, all right? You're going to find another link for the Discord server. If you want to grow, you need a network. Best way to actually build a network. Come on the Discord server, come hang out, and meet some friends, all right? So, first of all, what is the difference between wholesale and online arbitrage? The main difference is where you are in the supply chain, okay? If you are doing wholesale, you are a little bit higher in the supply chain because you are directly ordering products from wholesalers. How it works usually is you receive a spreadsheet or if you ask when you open an account, actually, because you need to open an account with those people, with the wholesale companies, you are going to receive a catalog, right? A price sheet. And usually it comes on a spreadsheet format. And you will have a lot of barcodes, a list of barcodes and prices and the name of the product. And you are going to need to find your products. You are going to need to look through the spreadsheet and find your products, all right? You are going to get wholesale pricing. And it will depend on, the quantity that you order, because if you order big quantities, you get better discount. It will also depend on where on the supply chain your supplier is, because if you have suppliers closer to the brands, you are going to need to order more units. But the price usually will be cheaper. And if you are like with down the line, like wholesalers that are further down the line, your price is going to be a little bit more expensive, but the minimum quantity that you will need to order will be a little bit lower as well. You will not have to spend as much money. This is what wholesale is, all right? You are going to deal with wholesaler. You are going to buy in bulk. Now, online arbitrage, what online arbitrage is, and it is not drop shipping, it is totally different. You are going to go to online retailers such as Walmart.com, for example, Nike.com, and you are going to buy straight from the website, from the consumer website, and you're going to buy those items to resell them on another marketplace such as Amazon. And we are talking about Amazon on this channel. Now, the great thing with this business model is that you do not need to buy in bulk. You can, and it gets the downside with this business model is that if you really want to buy in bulk, it can be complicated on some websites sometimes, but you do not have to buy in bulk. So when you start, it's way easier, all right? And you are the great thing with online arbitrage is that you are the only thing that is limiting you is really your knowledge of where to actually find products the cheapest. Because with wholesale, there's another thing that is going to limit you is your capital. And if you do not have a lot of capital, it's going to be super hard to compete with other people, because other people will actually be able to get their products way cheaper than you because they can order bigger quantity. They can have like their products 20% cheaper than you, 30% cheaper than you, and there's no way you can compete. While with online arbitrage, everybody can compete. You do not need a lot of money. Usually, except if, like there's some stuff, but it's really negligible. All right. With online arbitrage, one way that you could compete is if you buy a gift card in advance at higher discounts. But if you are a beginner, you may not really understand what I'm talking about right now, so we are not going to talk about that too much. But usually, with online arbitrage, the great thing is that you basically are competing with everybody at the same level. Like basically nobody has an advantage on you because we do not have relationship with those online retailers most of the time. So we cannot get bigger discounts than you. You just need to dig a little bit to find the best discounts and to be able to compete with everybody. Now, as I was saying, sometimes with online arbitrage, it can be a little bit difficult because some websites will not allow you to buy in bulk. And this is why a lot of beginners, not only, first of all, a lot of beginners are having a hard time finding products. And if you have a whole playlist on sourcing and finding products for online arbitrage, but a lot of those beginners actually think that wholesale is better because they think that less people are doing it and you can buy in bulk. It's way easier to buy in bulk and price do not tend to tank as much. And it is not necessarily true, all right? Because when people get stuck with 1,000 units of a product, of course, they're going to tank the price because they need to get their money back. Just with same thing as with online arbitrage, except that it can even be worse. It's going to be even worse if those people actually jump on your listings and have like costs that are 30-35% cheaper than you. All right, because they are going to be able to set at the price. You are not going to be able to understand how they are going to, or they are getting these products as cheap as they are, and it's going to fuck you up. All right, it is not easy. Wholesale is not easy. Of course, no, of course, there's always going to be those low-hanging fruits that you can actually find with some suppliers and stuff like that, that you can be profitable with and that you can hold for the long time. But this is not the majority of the products, and you cannot build a long-term business with just those low-hanging fruits if you want to build a successful wholesale business. This is the realization that, because if you do not know what I'm doing, I've done online arbitrage. I mean, I've done pretty much every single business model on Amazon, but mainly I was doing retail arbitrage. I moved to online arbitrage, which are two different business models, and I made a video talking about those two. But what I'm trying to say is that I stepped a little bit into wholesale with those low-hanging fruits, and I realized that it's not necessarily worth it, because if you actually know how to do online arbitrage, it's way easier for you to just stick with online arbitrage, because there's just so much opportunity that you are actually wasting your time working on those wholesale products. And if there are returns or stuff like that, it's more risky because you have bigger quantities, and so you're going to lose more money. And it's not necessarily worth it because you are not actually building those relationships and ordering all the time with those suppliers. Now, online arbitrage is great, and especially for beginners. Like, do not think that wholesale is better than online arbitrage because you can buy more units. It's not necessarily the truth. Like with online arbitrage, you can buy, like, there's a lot of websites that do not care about resellers and that let you order a lot of units. You just need to figure out what those websites are. Okay, most of the time, like small makeup brands and stuff like this, those websites are not going to be reseller friendly. For example, Charlotte Tilbury. All right. For example, this is one of those websites that are going to cancel you super fast if you order too much. And there's a few that are just like that. But to be honest, like, you just online arbitrage is the best business model for beginners, especially if you do not have tens of thousands of dollars. You can start wholesale with less than that. You can start wholesale potentially with $5,000 if you wanted to. But in my opinion, you are not going to experience the most growth, because with online arbitrage, you can just try a lot of products. You do not have minimum order quantity. You can try a lot of things. You can actually figure out how the business works, how Amazon works. You can figure out the in and outs of the business, and eventually move to wholesale down the line when you have more capital. But to be honest, and this is what I've seen myself, it is not necessarily worth it to move to move to wholesale. It's not necessarily better. All right, online arbitrage is a great business model. You can make a lot of money with online arbitrage, and it's way less risky. All right, because if you are already stressed buying 20 units, like, you are stressed that your product is going to tank, how bad is it going to be when you are going to need to order 200 units? All right, it's not going to be easy. All right, $5,000 purchase order. It's not going to be easy. If you've never done this with online arbitrage, it's going to be even worse with wholesale. And wholesale is a little bit harder to navigate, stuff like that. So I would say, in my opinion, for beginners, online arbitrage is the best business model. It's way less risky than wholesale. A lot of people say that online arbitrage is not legal, or that stuff. I made a whole video on that subject a couple of months ago. I do not even remember the name because I have so many videos. But yeah, stick with online arbitrage. Do not think that wholesale is better. Stick with online arbitrage a little bit. Get some success, get some money, and then make the move to wholesale once you really understand. After a couple of years, maybe, you can start transitioning for most people. But, like, do not think that after 6 months of online arbitrage you can already transition. It's your time to transition to wholesale. It's not going to be the time. You can make a lot of money with online arbitrage. You do not need wholesale. Of course, always start looking at it, start opening accounts, start building those relationships. But you do not need to move to wholesale. There's a lot of money to be made with online arbitrage. That's it for today's video. This is what I wanted to say on that subject. If you want to keep learning about selling on Amazon, watch these videos on the screen right now, and I'll see you tomorrow for a new video. Thank you for watching.